welcome to Fantasy Legends. My name's Scott and today we'll be going through a review of Cris. It's a love letter for the JRPG. Before we get started, I'll be playing in the background the first 10-15 minutes of my playthrough of the game, so there'll be spoilers obviously for those few minutes, but it probably, it doesn't actually spoil much of the story. It's mainly just a tutorial section, and then you'll get to see the art style and the gameplay as well. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. Now let's get on with the review. In the game Cris, you play as Cris, a young girl with no knowledge of her past who unexpectedly becomes a time mage. The main character in the game is the time-travelling frog Matthias, who actually explains to Cris how she can now travel between the past, present and future worlds simultaneously. Time-travelling element is actually probably the key to the game, actually, in terms of gameplay. You get to see the past, present and future. So for example, if there's an old woman in the present that you get to meet in the first town, then she'll be a young woman in the past section, and in the future section she may not even be there at all. So basically you use this to your advantage in certain quests where you have to change events before they happen, so that in order to change the future for the better. Thing I would say about this system is it can be slightly jarring in terms of you get to see all three elements at once on the screen. So as you travel through, you get to see the past, present and future, and it can be a bit distracting at times because sometimes you're trying to concentrate on the here and now, and then you've got the past and the future going on, and obviously you can see what's going to happen. In one way, it is a cool, different element to the game that I haven't actually seen done before. But like I said, it can be a bit jarring in terms of, you concentrating on the present of what's actually happening in the game. Interesting way they use the time element is that Cris sometimes needs to make decisions about the fate of the kingdom, and these are like player choice driven moments where you actually get to choose the future of what's actually going to happen. However, sometimes you're limited depending on what side quests you've decided to do. This actually is quite enabling for the player, to be honest with you. You get a lot of choice. Decisions in the side quests did seem to have a lot of agency as well, so you did actually get to see a lot of big changes overall in the campaign compared to if you made other choices, which is quite nice. As for art style, as you can see in the footage, the game is quite unique and really nice actually in terms of drawings in the game. It's all like this basically, and it'll be for some people, it won't be for others. Everyone's got a preference when it comes to visuals. Personally really like it, however, and the colours really pop out and it just reminds me of the game. I think it's quite unique. As for playtime, in my experience, you could probably get about 23-24 hours through it. However, obviously, because there's a lot of choices, you could choose to replay it in a slightly different way. Going back to the time play element again, you do unlock a lot more powers. However, I won't spoil them here, but they are mainly all linked to her time ability. So obviously there's certain ones that make you just better at seeing the more future and more past events faster, things like this. Like I said, I won't spoil it. One thing people are always interested when it comes to these sort of games is the combat. Now, it is turn-based, which I know a lot of people love, so there's that for a start, and it's obviously back to the traditional JRPG roots with the turn-based model, but it's also very, very complex. You've got actual, not just turn-based, but a bit like, the trigger for Final Fantasy VIII, where you use the gun blade and then you trigger at the right time. Well, you've got a system like this here where you attack and you have to press the button again at the right time to get a second attack in. Combat is really involved, however, so you've got a lot of powers. Obviously Cris has all her time powers, so you could imagine, like, for example, we'll just go without spoiling too much, if you have a wolf and then you rewind time, you could end up with a cute puppy rather than some growling wolf attacking you. So just things like that where you just have multiple strategies and different ways to defeat enemies. It's quite nice, really. Supporting cast for the game are also really great. There's a lot of strong characters there, and they're all funny, interesting. I'll let you check them out for yourself, but for me, they were just great, to be honest with you. The game also has a great soundtrack. Most of the tunes are brilliant for the areas, but however they are for the areas, so even if a story beat's going on and there's a disaster or something, it still might play an upbeat tune, which can be a bit jarring. That's just the one negative I would say about it, but the music itself is brilliant. One thing I will say about the game is that I wasn't too happy about the ending in terms of feeling it satisfied me, to be honest with you. I'd love to know what other people think about the ending. Obviously try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but let me know in the comments down below if you like the ending or not. So there you have it, my review for Cris Tales. I liked the characters, the music, the combat was really strategic. It just reminded me of the old JRPG days, to be honest with you, and it was a great way to do that. Like I said, the negatives for me were really seeing the past, present and future all the time could be a bit draining on me. That's more of a personal thing, however. You might love it. And yeah, and also I would say probably the timed button tapping in the combat could wear on me a bit. It did in Final Fantasy VIII as well, to be honest with you. So stay tuned for more reviews, videos, Final Fantasy news, things like that. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really does help me out. Thank you for listening.